Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tripping Around the Multiverse with your host, Khonshu's right-hand man, Kyle Charles, and... Wait,
And the third man, not Hulk Hogan and not Orson Welles.
no,
CY
it's...
Chung.
What is the third man's name again in this?
I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
Okay. So you read the comics?
No.
Okay, right. So I've read the comics, yeah. So I
Yeah.
knew
Because I
there
know
was
there's three of
like
them.
3%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Because I knew
Jake
Mark
Lockley,
Spector and Stephen
Stephen Grant.
Grant.
Yeah.
But never remember the third one.
Yeah, Jake Lockley.
There
But
we
here's
go.
the thing, right? In the
Yeah.
comics, they were kind of more. They were different personalities, but they weren't kind of too distinguished upon themselves. If you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like Stephen Grant's completely different here.
Yeah.
And Jake Lockley don't even seem to know English yet, so you
Oh.
know.
Which is kind of weird because of his
Um,
surname.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. In the comics, I think they were also rather kind of disguises ish as well, rather than split personalities, but they kind of became split
Okay.
personalities later on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think,
Oh.
but it's just like say if Batman was Batman and Bruce Wayne and matches Malone, and then whatever disguise he had, and then someone was like, I I don't know exactly. I read bits of Moon Knight
Yeah.
from the 2009 run, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
But he didn't have multiple personalities in that.
Yeah,
Was it
because
2009, the Charlie Houston one? Yeah.
because I didn't Bendis do a run of his. I wouldn't say recently, but it's like last like 10 years. Because I remember the
Yeah,
cover where he's got Wolverine's claws, Spider Man's web
yeah, that was
shooters.
quite a fun run as well. That was quite a fun run.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. But yeah, also we're speaking of the Moon Knight series, all right?
Yeah. Sorry.
And
Sorry, we
I'll
going
probably
off. Yeah.
throw yeah. I'll probably throw some comparisons to what I know in the comics
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah,
what I enjoyed okay. What I like though is
Mhm.
that Stephen Grant is just doesn't know what's going on,
Yeah.
and it's cool because he's like we're finding out, he's finding out, but he's a goof as well. Um, yeah. So Moon Knight's not all invincible, but he helps because he's kind of like
He's us
yeah, exactly.
basically. Yeah.
He
He's the
gives the
audience.
character to the audience more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you probably know more about Moon Knight than I do, so you can fill in bits and blanks. Because
Yeah, not a huge amount, but still.
no, and because I only know sort
By
of
the way,
bits.
yeah. By the way, he starts off hunting werewolves and stuff, and he's like, "Well, I don't know how. Well, I don't know what they're gonna do here, but whatever."
Oh, okay. I did not know. See, did not know that. I did not know that. I just always thought he was some Egyptian superhero sort of, but is not because he's got split personality syndrome and all that stuff.
He's the
But
white Batman,
yeah,
but
people
not.
keep saying, but I don't get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I think they went to a lot of effort to distinguish him from being Batman.
yeah,
The thing is, though, if you read, there was a run,
yeah.
and basically his armor was was the white colored version of the Dark Knight armor.
Oh,
Literally just that. Instead of that, though, a moon on his chest, and he had this cape hoodie thing.
oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But
Yeah.
they just basically just took the armor and was like, all right,
Yeah, because it's still like bits of it are still black in it, and then bits are white. Like the chest bit is white, and it's got the moon on it. Yeah, I know what you're
No,
talking about.
no. I'm talking about the one that took the Dark Knight armor from the movie.
Oh, okay. Because I saw
Yeah,
another
yeah,
one I just meant, but okay, fair enough. So yeah, back to what we were actually talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be
Yeah.
talking about Disney Plus's Marvel Studios Moon Knight, which recently just wrapped up its 6 episode series.
hmm
Had some highs, not many lows for me, if I'm honest. I really enjoyed it. Um,
It's fun. It's fun.
yeah, it's really fun. For someone who knows Moon Knight but not much about him, I thought it was quite easily accessible. I know they've changed
hmm
stuff because they
Yeah.
always do for these sort of things to make it more accessible for the modern person. if that's a better way of putting it. So
Yeah.
anything you want to say before we move on? So we briefly talk about each episode and then give our thoughts.
Yeah, I like how they took the. Okay, I thought they were going to go in a certain direction.
Yeah,
More about more action adventure sort of stuff, and it is, but it's not as dark. Actually, it's not like they took the template of Daredevil, for example. Yeah, made it kind of like
yeah,
murky and shadowy and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's kind of bright for a series that when I was reading was kind of dark. You know who David Finch is?
Yeah, no, David Finch,
artist?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was doing Moon Knight when I was reading it. You know how his artwork is.
Yeah, super dark, super depressing. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
I would say I enjoyed it very much.
But overall, actually, I like it's a good use of CG when they needed it, and they don't overuse it because sometimes they had to shortcut certain things. But they used the blackout of the personality, and I was like, actually, it's quite smart.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was pretty cool. He did that. I would say though, I think it's the first episode. That car chase in, I want to say Sweden, but it's not Sweden. The CGI there did look a bit rope, like weird. Didn't fit in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it got over.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, hey, this looked like it didn't. This looked like it didn't have a huge budget, right? And when I say I don't mean it looks cheap or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't a spectacle.
No. But then some of the scenes looked like really like high budget, if that makes sense, and like, oh wow, that looks amazing, sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good show. So, so let's get on with the first episode. So, first episode, we're introduced to a man called Stephen Grant, who works in the British Museum. I was like, oh, this is set in London. Oh, great. Even though it's... I don't know how much is actually set in London, because I keep getting confused by lots of the flashbacks and stuff in this. Yeah, so he wakes up late and he has the normal hijinks on his way to work. Oh, he nearly misses the bus, all that stuff, as lots of these things tend to do. But through all this, we find out that like he is obsessed with like Egyptian artifacts and Egyptian culture, and you kind of think that he must be like a tour guide at the museum, but no, he's just a souvenir shop worker. And he gets like lots of flack from his boss and stuff, saying that he's nearly gonna be fired because he's rubbish and that stuff. And then we start to get the first glimpse of him having these split personalities, because someone goes up to him and goes, "Oh, I'll see you on Thursday then for our date." And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "Wait, I don't remember ever asking this lady out." And like, haha. Hi, Jinx. And then we sort of introduced to the villain of the story, Arthur Harrow. Yeah. Who is played by Ethan Hawke. And he's like a cult leader, whatever. And one night, Stephen wakes up and he's in Switzerland. He's like, "Okay, what am I doing here? This is weird." And he makes his way to the city, and then the town centre, sorry. And this is where he sees Arthur Harrow do some weird thing with his cane, and he's judging people, and he touches them, and the scale net arm. His arm balances, see if they're good or not. If they're good, they stay alive. If not, their soul is sacrificed to who knows at this point. And so Steven's getting all weirded out by this. Like, this is weird. And then they kind of clock like, oh, he's not one of us. So he says something in Egyptian, and all the crowd like kneel, and he doesn't because he doesn't know. He says, "Oh, bollocks." Another Britishism in this thing. And then they try to take the scarab of him. It's scarab that he didn't know he had. And he goes to give it to him because he doesn't want to die, obviously. But then his hand closes. He's like, wait, what's going on here? And he keeps sending someone say, don't give it to him. He's like, I have no idea what's going on. And then they try to take it off him. Then he blanks out.
Yeah. So there's a little comedy bit where he tries to give them, except that his body is not giving it to them.
Yeah. And he's like, I really want to give this to you because I don't want to die. But, you know.
But my hand just don't want to. Yeah. I'm not doing this, I swear. Yeah.
And then he blanks out, and then he sees like all these dead people on the floor. He's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't do this. So then he steals a car. And then the highway chase I was talking about happens. And he keeps hearing voices again. It's like, I don't know who this voice is. And he blanks out a couple more times, and more people are dead.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow. This is very weird. And then he goes back to... Then he sort of goes into one of the comas again. And then he wakes up back at his apartment. Super confused, as you do. And he's like, oh, I better go on my date. Wait, is that this episode?
Yeah. No, yeah, he does, because he sees his goldfish.
Yeah.
Which had one fin. And he's like, wait a minute, it's got two fins.
Yeah, so he goes... his goldfish, who he's looking after for his mum, apparently. Apparently. Keep that in mind. And then he runs off to the goldfish shop. And he's like, yeah, do fish grow fish? Yeah? Do fish grow fins back? And she was like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, because this had one fin. I swear to you, she's like, you said this exact thing yesterday. And he's like, wait, what? And then he realizes, oh, crap, the time I was meant to go on a date. So he goes to the date. He's waiting. He thinks he gets stood up. So he rings the lady. She's like, no, dude, I came here 2 days ago. You didn't turn up. He goes, wait, what day is it? He goes, don't be stupid. It's Friday. He's like, oh. And obviously the date was on Thursday. So he's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And then he also finds in his house a letter to someone addressed to someone called Mark, and he's really confused by it. So he opens the letter, there's a phone in it. So it keeps saying, and like all the phone calls are Layla, and except for one, but I can't remember what that middle one was. 'Cause I can't really make sense. So then he calls it, then he hangs up when the person answers because he's super confused.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to work, and then he is confronted by some of Harrow's goons. He's like, I need to leave. So he tries to run away, and then he tells one of the security guards there that he knows, forgotten his name, say, oh, Greg, stop this guy. And then you find out Greg's a part of the secret cult as well. So it's like, oh, crap, what am I going to do? And Harrow summons this jackal-like creature to attack Stephen. So he runs away, all that stuff. And then he lets another personality take control. And then you see the Moon Knight figure in his costume and everything, like battering the crap out of the jackal creature. And the episode ends there.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, it's not as simple. So yes, the jackal chasing him. Yeah. He runs off. Actually, really scared, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see the reflection. He's talking. His reflection is talking stuff. Which, by the way, I want to point out, right? Not to repeat or clarify what you're saying, but just saying the acting's done really well, actually, because Oscar Isaac, the way he plays Stephen Grant, even without the accent, right? The fake London accent that he has.
Yeah.
Brubs and whatnot.
Yeah.
The guy in the mirror, Mark Spector, has completely different body language because he's pacing there ready to get in a fight. Like, you know, he's like, give me the body to take over, and I'll have to take this thing down, otherwise it dies. I mean, we both die, so you better, you know, and he's cowering as Stephen Grant.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And then you're like, ooh, this is Moon Knight. And then episode ends there. Thank you for filling those bits in. And then,
well, yeah, but I have to say, I have to point out another thing is
Yeah.
So the jackal creature jumps in the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
We don't see nothing. We see like Stephen, Mark Spector take over, right? Well, we didn't see Mark Spector take over. You see
Yeah.
the jackal jump in. Then you see it all goes dark, and you see a sink. You hear outside the door. You see a sink flying out,
Yeah.
and you just hear this jackal get. You hear
Yeah.
yeah, and then Moon Knight turns when the camera goes around the corner. You see Moon Knight just beating up this thingamajig.
Yeah, this demon-like creature. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty good. It was good.
Yeah, that
That's
was
good
cool.
effects
Nice
then.
intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think they built well to Moon Knight appearance there.
Yeah. Like, they could have milked it a bit longer, but no, it built it pretty
Yeah,
well.
but it's more like now it's like when you introduce the character, which the whole series is about.
Yeah.
What is this guy about, though? That's the
Yeah,
question.
that's the thing, innit? Yeah. It leaves lots of intrigue. Yeah. And then the next episode, Stephen gets blamed for the damage done by the jackal creature. But before that,
the damaged bathroom, as far as they know, right?
yeah. Like, but before that though, he comes into work and he's like to the security guard, "Oh, did something happen yesterday?" He's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, I got to show you something on the CCTV footage." And then Steven thinks it's gonna be like seeing what he saw, but it's like the complete opposite. You just see him looking at the camera, and then runs away, and it runs off.
Yeah.
Because this kind of
So
threw me off as well.
the jackal thing is invisible.
Yeah. And then he gets called into the office, and they're like, we need to fire you. We're not going to press any charges, but yeah, you need to go because what you did to the bathroom is not cool, dude. So oh, okay. There's one funny part though in this bit when the guy goes, "Yeah, do you have any do you have anything on your person, like anything belongs to them?" And he's like, "No." And he's about to get up, and the guy goes, and then he kind of points at Steven's name tag. He's like, "Oh, really? You want this?" Oh. He gave it to him. I was like, "That's quite funny."
Yeah.
And then
Petty, but it is what it is, isn't it?
And then Steven starts seeing the reflection of himself in a mirror, but it's not doing the same thing as him. It's talking to him, and that's when he sort of realized, hey, this is weird. And then this is when the voice in his head introduced himself as like, "Yeah, I'm Mark Spector, you know. I'm also currently the, avatar for an Egyptian moon god, Khonshu." He's like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense."
Yeah.
But does it? So yeah, he's kind of freaked out by all that. And then he is about to be arrested for something else, if I remember correctly. And then his wife's, a woman called the Layla lady shows up, and she kind of saves him from everything. Because he gets arrested, taken somewhere, and they're about to, I wouldn't say kill him, they're about to do something to him.
Well, they're fake cops. They arrest him, and he thinks it's about the search in his apartment. He thinks it's about the bathroom thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you notice, I don't think they're showing the ID.
No, they don't at all.
Say what they are.
Yeah. They even say that, don't they?
And they just...
I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. They come with the police-like attitude without actually ever saying they are police.
Yeah. And then they take him to a mysterious place. And then this is when Harrow also reveals that he was previously the avatar for Khonshu. Until he's like, "You know what, I'm jumping ship and going with the other god of Amit."
Yeah,
her name is
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Oh, that's not cool." So and then, like I said, Layla comes and saves him, and this is where she goes, "Oh, by the way, I'm your wife." And he's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
"I have a wife too. Yay! I have a good life."
No. He's like Stephen Grant's like, "Wait a minute." But then why did I ask out the other girl?
Yeah. Different person.
But then he was like, he didn't ask out the other girl. Did Mark ask out the other girl?
Yeah.
But that wouldn't make sense because Mark has a wife.
Or would it be Mark? Question.
Yeah, exactly. That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah. It could be someone else.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so they kind of get reacquainted.
Yeah.
And
She doesn't believe that Stephen Grant is Stephen Grant.
yeah,
She keeps on calling him Marks to drop the act, Mark. And he goes, no,
yeah.
he's no act. There's
He's
no
like, I know what
act.
you're talking about. My name's Mark. My name's
Why is
Steven.
Stephen? I mean...
Which I thought hilarious whole thing. Like, wow, this is just funny.
Yeah.
And then also Harrow, sorry, kind of explains his evil plan and stuff to everyone.
Yeah.
The typical villain monologuing, if you will.
Yeah.
And trying to think, and then he summons another jackal-like creature to fight him.
Yeah.
And then Steven managed to summon his own version of the Moon Knight suit to fight the jackal. But
Well, so they're like, he's getting chased. Layla's like, call the suit, yeah? Summon the suit, right?
yeah,
And then I think he gets knocked off a building or something like that. And he's like, oh, summon the suit, We're using the Stephen Grant voice because that's actually how he sounds, right?
yeah.
He summons the suit, right? But it's not the Moon Knight suit.
No, it's
a suit in the version of Moon Knight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's sort of
Which is quite neat, actually.
because he's
It's quite
not
cool.
current, but his recent comic. That's what he had in that suit. Yeah,
Mr. Knight suit.
yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah. And then he starts. Then he starts to fight it because obviously Layla's in danger.
Yeah.
He's like, "Come on, boy, you can do it. I can take you on."
I'll take you on. I will. Yeah.
Left and rights, mate.
And then he realized, oh man, I'm getting overpowered here.
Yeah.
Mark, you take over. So Mark takes over, kills the jackal, but somehow loses the scarab to Harrow. And then this is when Khonshu sort of threatens to claim Layla as his next avatar if Steven and Mark don't get their crap together and stop Harrow. Yes.
Yeah.
This was another quite a good episode. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, the action you see is from Steven's point of view, so it's not great action, right? But you know there's some action going on at some points, which is going to be, well, he blacks out all the time, right?
Yeah.
So you're either going to see a spectacular set piece, or you're going to see a build that you don't know what happens in.
Yeah,
but
you can see.
it's like a running joke at this point.
But I really like when that happens, when it's just like the blackout bits. You're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's like show less and get you like more intrigued rather than like, oh, just
And in this case, it works.
Yeah,
it's not like they cut something because they haven't got a budget or something. Actually, it's relevant to the story because nobody knows what's going on.
No. So yes. And then we come to episode 3. Even though I keep forgetting, I should like say names of each episodes. Episode 1 was called The Goldfish Problem. Episode 2 was Summon the Suit. And this episode is the Friendly Type. So, yes. So, in this episode, they go to Cairo, sort of, in hopes to follow Harrow and his goons to Amit's tomb, because it's like hidden somewhere, so they need to sort of like get information to find out where it is. And so with both of Stephen and Grant's, I keep calling Stephen. It's what happens when they have two names that could be first names. Sorry.
Yeah.
Stephen and Mark.
Yeah.
Like, due to like their back and forth blackouts and stuff, they find it quite hard to track down Harrow's location, but also at the same time find a way there through like chasing down like mobsters
because
and stuff.
One of them wakes up halfway through something the other one's doing.
Yeah, and like have no sort of memory of it, but they sort of like clicking things together and working together through it. So they end up there. Mark and Steven accidentally end up killing a bunch of Amit followers.
Yeah, yeah. So I believe
But
this is the one where in the desert, right?
before that, on the rooftop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So he beats up one of them, like a few of them, and then like Steven keep coming and say, you can't kill this person. And Mark's like, oh, fine, I won't. But then he beats them all up. Then he kind of like blacks out, and it goes back to Mark's point of view, and they come out of the building, and they're like, "Hey, I need to talk to you." And obviously, they've got beaten up by him, so they're
Yeah.
scared. So they run off, and he ends up. Then he blank out again, and then they're on the edge of a cliff
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
like two of them dead, and only like the young one's still alive, and he's like legs broken or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Steven is like, "Oh gosh, what's happened now?" And then Khonshu comes, and you're like, "Oh, Khonshu, hi guy." And he's like, "Oh, if you dangle off the cliff, he'll tell you everything you want." And he's like, "Okay, sure, let me dangle off the cliff." So he's dangling off the cliff, and the guy goes,
Yeah. Because he's
"For
like, he will talk.
yeah,
You threaten him, he will talk. Believe
yeah."
me, I'm a god. I know these things.
He's like, "Okay, sure." And then the guy just goes, "Hail Amit" or whatever it is, and then just jumps off the cliff himself and dies.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow! And Khonshu's like, "Oh, didn't see that happening." It's like,
Yeah.
he tried to be Batman and it didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. And then they kind of find out. I can't blank my mind now because they end up going to the tomb, but I can't remember exactly how.
So Layla comes along.
Yeah,
Right? She finds them, and she basically arranges a meeting with her contact,
that was it.
who has the sarcophagus in his possession, right?
Yeah,
So they could find the clues about where Amit is and
yeah,
where Harrow is. Yeah. And then Pot's like, Stephen Grant, right? Because he's a amateur archaeologist.
yeah. I think that's yeah,
Well, I mean, knows information because he works in the thing, right?
yeah,
But so Stephen Grant's like, I mean, Mark Spencer's like, Stephen, tell me the information. He's like, no, 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 I would rather take control because you're just going to relay information that you don't know anything about.
yeah.
So it's best for me to take control and actually talk my way through this.
He's like,
Yeah.
sure.
Mark refuses, but then, eventually has to give in.
Yeah, and
And
then
Steve, yeah.
I was gonna say that's when hijinks ensues where everyone just starts. Cause
Yeah.
He goes to that rich guy's house, yeah, and everyone just starts trying to kill him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, he's got the sarcophagus and he's telling, so Stephen Grant's telling Mark Spector to fold the things in certain ways because he's certain constellations on the on the flag, right?
Yeah,
To put the location where they're supposed to be going. Except that he's not folding it properly and Stephen Grant wants to take over.
yeah,
And then, yeah. Hijinks ensue because they think, oh yeah, you're trying to do something, or steal my whatever, or
Yeah.
is trying to betray us, whatever it is, right?
yeah.
And they go fight Moon Knight. And this dude, by the way, this dude's such a rich man that he's riding on his horses with his javelins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
He was
know,
like written
Joyce
for you not to like
jousting.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a terrible person. And
Yeah.
so powers up to Moon Knight, sort of distracts them all while Layla goes to get the thing they need, and
yeah,
he ends up killing a lot
the
of them.
item.
Yeah, the MacGuffin. Yeah, the MacGuffin.
Yeah, exactly.
Ends up killing most of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, cool. And then after all that, they go to the desert and they do the ritual properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks pretty cool because he's in the normal night suit, and then he goes into the Mr. Night suit to do the whole moon magic stuff. And they get the correct coordinates, and off they go. But then this is when they also, if I remember correctly, is it this episode later on where they denounce them healing abilities and stuff?
The what?
You know when I think later on where they don't have the power no more because they denounce Khonshu.
I think that's lit on. I think
Yeah.
that's lit on.
Alright. Can't remember. Yes, and then we get to the next episode, which is called The Tomb. Haha, get it? So yep. So it starts with Grant and Layla going to the deserted campsite and deserted tomb site, which is kind of like a maze in the shape of the Eye of Horus. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. But they discovered that lots of all the people who were there already were dead and they were killed by Harrow's men. And I was like, oh, that's pretty sad. And then in this episode.
Oh, hold on. Let me back up a second. I think you're right. I think you're right. He had to pinpoint the location of Amulet's tomb. Yeah, so so when they got where to Amulet's tomb is, he had to renounce Khonshu and his Moonlight powers. Yeah. So no, sorry, you're right.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense for what happens later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then oh, sorry. Yeah. So they go to that site, and like I said, the people are dead, and then Layla and Grant get attacked, but Layla defeats the priest, but is encountered by Harrow, and then this is when he's like, oh yeah, Harrow does the whole, oh yeah, I know what happened to your father. He was a great archaeologist, right? I think I know who killed him. And so he tried to hint to Mark Spector killing him. Because, he's a mercenary and it's easy to believe that he would kill someone. So this starts putting doubt in Layla's mind, maybe he did. He's a butt. But while this is all going on, Mark and Stephen have gone off, found the tomb they're looking for. And they get excited. Yeah. Well, Stephen gets excited because it's the tomb of Alexander the Great, which apparently no one's ever found, or if it's real, who knows? It's for this story, whatever. So he gets excited, and then he finds Layla later on. He's like, "Oh, Layla, it was the tomb of Alexander the Great." Blah blah blah. She's like, "You killed my dad." He's like, "Wait, what?"
Excuse me. About now?
Yeah. Because I want to talk to Mark. He's like, well, Mark's not here. He's like, no, I want to talk to Mark. So, all right. So Mark comes out. And he's like, I didn't kill your dad. He goes, well, that guy said you did. He's like, well, I didn't kill him, but I was there when he got killed. Because it's kind of my fault because I brought this guy there. And I didn't know he was going to do it. That sort of stuff. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Harrow's men and that come again, and Mark's like, okay, Layla, you go off. Here's the thing. Here's the MacGuffin. Do what you got to do. I'll hold them off with my Moonlight powers. He's like, but you don't have Moonlight powers. He's like, oh yeah, but I'll hold them off anyway. So he goes to start fighting, and then Harrow's like, screw this, and just shoots him. He's like, this is what pain feels like. He's about to fall again, and then he gets shot again. So, 2 times you're dead, basically. So he falls into...
Let me just point out, by the way, you've got to say... so when Mark was dying... When Mark got shot the first time around...
Yeah.
And he crawled to the tomb of Khonshu, and then, in order to save himself, he embraced Khonshu at his... to be the Avatar, the Moon Knight. So, yeah. That's how we got the powers.
Yeah, I forgot. It kind of shows his origin, how he became Moon Knight through his dying bit.
Yeah.
So he's crawling. Well, he does all that, and then he falls into this puddle. I say puddle. It's bathing and starts sinking.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up and he's in a psych ward. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then. It's where it starts getting weird because you start seeing other people they've met during their adventure. And you're like, wait, so is this all in the dude's head?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he finds his other part. Okay, so he finds Mark or Steven. At this point, I can't remember who's who at this point. So they find each other.
You know,
They're like,
it's Mark Spector, right?
yeah,
Mark Spector. He's in Harrow's office and he sees the video of Toonbuster, right?
yeah,
Which is Indiana Jones, but not.
yeah,
Okay. With Dr. Stephen Grant as the lead,
yeah,
as the character, of course. And he's like, "What's going on?" And Harrow's like, "Yo, none of this is real, by the way."
yeah. This is all lies. This is all something you've made up in your head.
Yeah.
And he's
to
like,
deal
wait,
with
what?
certain issues, right? Because
Yeah.
Stephen Grant doesn't exist. And Mark Spector is like, "No, this can't be. This can't be."
Yeah.
He escapes, and then he escapes. He runs into one of the rooms to get away from the guards.
Yeah,
And that's where he sees Stephen Grant.
yeah,
Yeah.
in a tomb. So he opens the tomb and he opens it and it comes out. Yeah, he finds him in a sarcophagus because you see here's the sarcophagus banging. So he opens it and he's like, "Oh, Mark, Stephen, I haven't seen you in a while." So they start hugging or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they try and escape and they go past the room with another sarcophagus. Banging, banging, banging. And Mark goes, "We ain't got time for that."
No. I thought it was the same room.
No, it's different.
All right. I thought because I knew there was another personality. I was like, that is a third personality there.
Yeah, because
Because
like it's not the same room. They start walking down the hall, innit? And then he sees the door open, and it's that other sarcophagus.
Okay.
And then that's when he goes, "Oh, we ain't got time for this. We got to go."
Yeah.
And then
all right. No, I thought they were trying to. I thought that it was going to be. So he opens the sarcophagus. Stephen Grant comes out, and then when they close it and they leave the room, there's the other and someone else banging in there because there's another guy in there.
Yeah, no, it's different.
But I might have just turned my head for a second and missed it.
Yeah, because it's literally off just before when they try to leave and they open that other door and that hippo's there and they go, "Ah!" and it ends there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, okay, that was very, very clever, very, very clever."
Yeah.
And then we got the fifth episode, Asylum. If I remember correctly, though, this episode starts with Steven as a kid watching Toonbusters.
Not quite. You forgot they bumped into a hippo.
Oh, yeah.
A talking Egyptian hippo.
Yeah.
On the way out of episode 4.
Yeah.
And they start screaming.
Yeah, and then she kind of explains who she is. And Mark's okay with it, but Steven's still confused. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't get all this. So she kind of explains what she is, and like, she tells, "Oh yeah, by the way, you guys are dead." They're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. And I think that's when they wake up in Harry's office again.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong with that, but they are in Harry's office again.
Yeah. And then, thing is, quite a lot of this episode is him and Harrow's office trying to like figure out if this is real or not. Because also balancing out the whole going on the boat to the afterlife.
Yeah. And this episode is kind of like the origin episode of why he has multiple personalities.
Yeah. Which I really like this episode. I might go in depth in this one because I really like it. So like, we'll go into like the whole origin bit. So we see bits of Stephen when he was a kid with his brother Randall, or his mum calls him Roro, and they're having like a barbecue or something, and then because I think it's someone's birthday, and Mark goes to his brother, "Oh yeah, let's go and play somewhere." So they go out into the woods, and he takes them to this cave, and while this is all going on, obviously, adult Mark, and Stephen are watching this, and Mark's breaking down because he sees again how his brother died, because they go into a cave, it starts raining, which causes the cave to flood, and his brother
Well,
drowns.
so he convinces his brother to come and play.
Yeah.
That's the thing as well.
Yeah, so he
Even though, and his brother's like, oh, I'm scared. He goes, don't worry, I'll watch out for you.
I won't let anything happen to you. Ugh. Famous last
Yeah,
words.
and then next thing you know, it cuts to a funeral.
Yeah, and he's
It's all his fault. It's all his fault.
yeah, and so his mum after this kind of breaks down and just blames him for everything, like for his brother's death, for everything and anything basically, and Mark kind of wants his mum to love him again, but it's not gonna happen, and she one day just has enough, and she goes to beat him. And this is where...
Oh, no, she's banging... Yeah, you're right. She's banging outside his door.
Yeah.
It's all your fault. It's all your fault. I hate you. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is rough for, like, a kid to hear. And Mark and Stephen are watching this, and then adult Mark and Stephen...
Well, adult Mark and Stephen, by the way. Adult Mark and Stephen watch this, because it's kid Mark and Stephen as well.
Yeah. And then... Mark's like, Stephen's like, why do you want to see this? Want me to see this? He goes, well, you know, I'll tell you everything, but you can't watch all this. But then skip a few bits. Stephen gets his bit, and then you see Mark in his room cowering, and his mum breaks through, about to come through the door, and then all of a sudden he just starts speaking with an English accent, and then this is the birth of the Stephen Grant personality. So basically, he made this alter ego so he wouldn't have to deal with the physical abuse, basically.
Yeah,
and it's quite
which
sad.
is strange though. Which is strange because here's the thing, right? As his mom, if his mum is coming to beat him, then why would you bring out the personality you want to protect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like, at first, I was like, oh, this is cool, but now you're saying it doesn't really make sense, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, it does make sense with what comes up later.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Because unless it's like, okay, so here's the thing, right? You don't see what happens to... Well, you know that suddenly he starts speaking English because he knocks his pens over and he goes, oh, God, I better pick them up, right? Mum's going to be very angry at me. Okay, fair enough. And then I mean, this is her bashing the door down already. So then it cuts, right?
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the next scene or whatever. So you don't actually know what happened.
No. And then this is when Mark and Steven is like, so I was never the original. Like, Steven's like, so I was never the original. It's like, nah, you weren't, dude. Sorry. Yeah. Also, I forgot to say the whole point of this episode as well. For the afterlife, them to go to afterlife, their hearts has to be balanced. But good and evil needs to be balanced or whatever. And because they're two separate people, they have two hearts. And both of their hearts are not balanced. So they need to balance the scale before they get to the Eye of Osiris to go into the afterlife.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing, though.
Yeah, so they're going through all their like history and stuff to sort of balance out their life. Yeah, I forgot to add that.
But here's the thing I thought was going to happen because I knew about Jake Lockley. It was like, what's going to happen is they resolve this and then there'll be another problem because it's still not balanced. There's supposed to be three because there's three of them.
Yeah.
Except that didn't happen.
No. Because no one knows about him, not even himself. Yeah. Which it seems like it at the end, but yeah. So with all this, they're like, okay, we've figured out our problems. Now we should be balanced. Let's go back to Hippo Lady and see if we will make it to the real world again so we can go and save Layla. And then they meet Hippo Lady. She's like, no, your hearts ain't balanced. So this is the last stop. You're going to hell, basically. I'm like, oh. And then they sort of try to convince her to let them not go to hell, but by that time, like, all the people they've killed so far start coming on a boat trying to like throw them off the boat to put them into the sea of death, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Steven, Mark's like, right, Steven, you go. I'll fight them off. So he's trying to fight him off. He's doing well at first, but then he doesn't. And then Steven's like, hey, if I'm part of you, then that means I'm half as good as you fight-wise, sort of. So he tries to fight, makes the whole situation worse. But he saves Mark by dragging one of the demon things off of the boat. And Mark's like, oh no, Steven, come back. We got to go back for Steven. And then Steven starts trying to run for the boat, but then he starts turning to sand, meaning that he's part of the sands of time, wherever it is. That's a weird Prince of Persia reference. And he just turns into a stone. You're like, oh, that's odd. And then, because of that, the scales become balanced. So Mark can actually go back to the real world. And then the episode ends with Mark just standing like in a sunflower field, just looking around. Like, wait.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, that's the field of reeds. That makes sense, because that's some Egyptian thing. And that was that episode. Yes. Good episode, in my opinion.
Yeah. It covered a lot of ground, but did it in a not too dark way.
No.
If you kind of mean, because it could have been really kind of not unsettling, but just be like, yo, this is kind of a bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially dealing with like kids and abuse and stuff. Yeah, it's a bit.
Yeah.
It could have went one way, but I'm kind of glad it didn't go that way.
I mean, this entire series is not too overly serious, anyways. It's a bit comedic because of Stephen Grant, and I do like that they. I know I'm sidetracking here, but I do like that they change it up enough where you're like, they could have went really awkward with the subject matter, or really overly dramatic, but they decided, make it a bit fun actually.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
It kind of handles stuff pretty well. It could have been like you said, like super dark, which I think a lot of people were expecting for it to be. But
yeah, I mean, we've seen Jessica Jones. It could have been that level,
That's uncomfortably dark. But yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then the final episode, Gods and Monsters. So, I totally forgot the whole meet council of the Egyptian god stuff. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Well, they do play a part. Except that, so Harrow's trying to get the powers of Amma, basically, and Moon Knight's been out. Khonshu's been basically outcast because they make him mock. What they don't like about they mock him, right?
Yeah.
And then because they make it's kind of jokes, because the whole thing is kind of jokes. It's like, oh, Khonshu, see how you're the outcast. He goes, no, I'm not the outcast. You're the outcast. Sort of thingamajig going on. It's not to be taken too seriously.
No.
Because Khonshu does play a little pompous god, right?
Yeah.
But in a comedic tone. It's nothing too serious.
No.
So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Good, kind of funny stuff.
So the last episode, it sort of starts with Harrow freeing Ammit and killing all the Egyptian god avatars.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys are nothing. She's a crocodile. So kill a lot of them. And then they leave the tomb, and then Layla sort of follows. Like the skies.
She thinks Stephen's dead at this point.
Yeah. So she's
Mark, Stephen, whichever one of them.
Whichever one. So she.
But no, because she's kind of revenging for both of them because she likes both of them. I think she likes both of them. What I mean is, yes, one's her husband, the other guy's a guy she's met, and she's like, he ain't so bad after all.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah. Bit weird, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
So she's following along to a next. They try to get out of the city, I think, and they get stopped by these guards. And God infused Harrow uses his staff to immobilize a lot of them and take their souls, because a lot of them ain't their souls are not balanced, so they're evil.
Yeah.
And then only one of the guards though, and he's like, oh, this man's good, he can join our side. And he's like, okay, sure.
I mean, why not? You
Why
know.
not? I guess the world's come to an end. Yeah, might as well be on the winning side. So that happened, and then Layla like dressed
It's
up
like
as
the world's coming to an end. He could join our side because there ain't gonna be much world left after this. You know
yeah,
what I'm
literally.
saying?
So yeah, might as well go out on a high. But yeah, so then Layla's all dressed up as like one of Harrow's men, and she's gonna go and kill Harrow until she sees some of the dead bodies talking, and it's Hippo Lady saying, "Yeah, Mark said don't do it," and she's like, "Wait, what?" He goes, "Oh, I'm their friend. This is perfectly normal. Listen to me." And like, obviously, because of what she's gone through, she's like, this makes sense. Let me listen to this person because
Yeah, yeah,
she's seen the weirdest stuff already, so this is
yeah,
nothing to
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah.
And then after
But,
that,
wait, but the Hippo lady is basically saying Mark said no, don't do it because Conscious going to make you his avatar, and then basically was going to get revenge, and then you're going to be stuck with
yeah, and she's like, "Oh, that makes sense."
yeah.
And then after that, we kind of Khonshu and Amit have a battle. I finished it slightly before, and Amit overpowers him, so he runs scared because he's a little B word.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And then
yeah.
we see Mark Spector refusing to stay in the field of reeds. And he's
No,
like,
no, hold
no.
on. No, 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 hold on, hold on. Wait, hold on. I think you're getting mixed up slightly because he doesn't run away. What happens is he goes to fight him, but he obviously got no abilities, and I think he gets teleported away at the end.
Oh, is that what happens to Amit? I mean, not to Amit, to
No,
Khonshu.
not that, mate. Khonshu, yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, that sounds alright. So yeah,
yeah.
and then so
But he
yeah,
was losing anyways. He would have ran if he could have probably.
yeah,
Just probably didn't have the energy to run.
yeah, he's a wuss. And then so we see Mark refusing to basically die, and
Yeah,
he returns to like the boat that's traveling to the afterlife, and he's like, "No, I need to rescue Steven." And
yeah,
then he like convinces Hippo Lady to say help him. He's like, "You know what? Screw it. Cyrus ain't gonna care anyway." And then so they turn around the boat, and then turn the boat around, and they go to save Steven,
yeah,
which is quite a heartwarming moment. But then we find out that only way them two can come back is if they acknowledge Khonshu as their savior.
yeah.
So who can give him better power and that stuff. So okay, it makes sense. And then we go back to the real world, and Layla discovers that Amit could be defeated if she becomes an avatar of one of the dying Egyptian gods. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I guess I will. So she bonds with the god, and she gets powers. Kind of right. For some reason, this suit which she's wearing kind of reminded me a bit of the Wonder Woman super suit that
Yeah.
she gets in
Well, you know what?
184.
It's actually quite a cool looking suit though.
Yeah, I liked
I
it.
like the look of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was practical, wasn't over the top or anything. Yeah, it looked kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. And to for the I mean like she did not have too much exposed skin because like you're saying Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, yeah. This lady was kind of it wasn't a fan service suit one.
No,
bit.
it wasn't. It was very practical and
Yeah.
respectful. So yeah. So yeah, then Stephen and Mark get back to the real world after.
Wait, Steven makes Marx makes a glorious speech, which is a heartwarming moment
Yeah,
for them to reunite as a single being or whatever.
yeah. Even though
And then Steven,
before that though, when Mark saves Stephen, and they're running back to get to like the gates of the real world,
yeah,
something happens to Stephen. I can't remember what happens. No, to Mark, and he's like, "Stephen, go without me." And I was sitting there like, but you both know you can't be without each other. So why are you gonna sacrifice yourself? Because then you're just going back in a circle. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure, whatever. And then they're just
yeah,
about to get hit by the wave of like tidal wave of death sand, whatever it is. And then Hippo Lady Coco drifts her boat to stop the wave coming. And she's like,
yeah,
"Go on,
yeah.
guys, you can go." And they're like, "Yeah, we can go. Power of friendship." And they run through the gate. And they're back in the real world. And they have their Conchu powers back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah. And then we sort of head on to the kind of final battle, isn't it?
What? Sorry.
Because then it kind of this way we get to like the kind of final battle.
Yeah.
Like where there's like a
where he becomes Moon Knight to fight Harrow,
yeah
and she becomes the whatever that she becomes.
yeah Lady Wonder. I'm gonna call her the opposite of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they don't give her a name, do they? That's the annoying thing.
No. The avatar of whatever it is.
Yeah. And then while they're fighting, Khonshu and Amit are having a big CGI battle as well. Which
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Khonshu's getting his ass handed to him a lot of the time because he's weaker. And they're having a little back and forth like, we could have done this together, Khonshu. You know, I loved you and we could have had great vengeance together. And then
Great adventures.
it like I don't get their dynamic. Like they're saying they're the same, but one's more vicious than the other, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I think Abbott was trying to say like that she would kill, but Khonshu's saying that he wouldn't kill. But then he's telling Moon Knight to kill. You know what I mean? It made I don't know, but then again, it sets up for the end. But anyway,
Yeah.
so they're fighting.
It made exact sense, but it probably made exact sense as the for the characters.
Yeah. Because I was kind of confused by this until the end. I was like, oh, that makes sense. But anyway, and then so they're having their fights or whatever. There's a bit where, which I would call in a fight, where there's a flying battle sort of thing between Harrow and Moon Knight, and he's sort of holding on to him by his cape. So Moon Knight turns into Mr. Knight.
Oh, hold on. You forgot the major bit here.
Okay, what was that?
So when Stephen Grant came, after they come through the doors to come back,
Yeah.
right? The Khonshu's like, yes, we got to go and get these guys before they destroy the world, right?
Oh yeah.
And Stephen Grant's like, no, mate, no, just a second, right? Just a
Yeah.
second. He's sitting in his Moon Knight suit, right?
Yeah,
Not the Moon Knight suit,
Yeah.
right? The Mr. Knight suit. And he's like, so we got a deal to make right now, if you so please, because there's not much time. If you refuse to deal, the world will be destroyed, and you won't have an avatar. Is that correct, Mr. Khonshu? Right? And I know, making it sound like he's interrogating the other guy, but he's trying to make a deal. He's trying to make a good deal.
Yeah.
And Khonshu's like, yo, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, tell you what, me and Mark have decided, that if we were to help you right now in this thing, because you need our help more than we need you, right?
Yeah.
We want to be free of you, if you are so inclined to give us our freedom, that would be great. And if not, well, you have no world to give anyone to do anything with. So, it's all up to you, but it's really not up to you.
And he's like, you got me there.
Yeah.
Fine. So yeah, that bit I forgot. My bad. And then, wait, what was I saying? Yeah, the flying fight bit. Yeah, he turns into Mr. Knight, so he can't be strangling him anymore because he can't have his cape. He turns back. Yeah. They have a battle in the middle of like a town in Cairo, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where this.
What's kind of weird though, because Harrow's never got a superhero costume on or anything like that.
No.
He's just Moon Knight beating up a dude. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moon Knight beating up a dude.
Yep,
which is kind of funny.
and kind of weird.
Um,
It's
but the
like,
other thing is, I thought it was going to be. I thought what they were going to do is make it like so. Stephen Grant
hmm,
and Mark Spector see Moon Knight as Moon Knight, right?
yeah,
But then to the people that are your standard spectators, he's still him, not in the Moon Knight costume though.
yeah, that'd have been cool.
That would have been weird, like because that would have probably worked more towards if he was a bit of a nutter.
Yeah, which they didn't do, which is it makes sense in it, if
Yeah,
I'm honest.
yeah,
And yeah, so big fight happens. There's a bit where they're sort of getting over. They're getting beaten by Harrow,
yeah,
and again, there's a blackout bit. And I'm like, okay, what? And Mark's like, Steven, did you do that? He goes, nope. I thought you did that. It's like, I didn't do it either. So like, oh, that's weird.
yeah,
And then Khonshu comes. Like, oh yeah, thanks for helping me get my ass beat by Amit, but we're good now. Let's kill Harrow. We need vengeance. And the Moon's
yeah,
like, it's about to do it. And then he throws these Moonerang, that's what I'm going to call it.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Moonerang
yeah,
ray. And goes, you can do it yourself. I'm not killing this guy. And then Khonshu's like, oh, fine. You're an asshole. Sort of thing. And
yeah,
then this is when it goes back to the hospital scenes. And I was sitting there at this part thinking, wait, so was this all a dream?
yeah, yeah,
And then you see Mark talking to Dr. Harrow. And like, so this is all fake, right? He goes, yep, this is all fake. And then he switches to Steven. And he's like, are you sure about it's fake? Blah, 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 blah. He goes, yep, this is all fake. And the only reality is the reality we're living in now. And then Dr. Harrow
yeah,
walks off. And you see blood on his feet.
yeah.
And then Mark comes back and goes, no, this isn't fake. And then I got confused by all this part of it here, so you must have to fill this bit in because I was still trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, yeah,
Ugh. And then he ends up sort of breaking this. I think this is limbo. To me, this is like limbo sort of thing. So he kind of
yeah,
gets out of the limbo bit, and then he wakes up in the real world again.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
okay. I tell you what. I mean, you ain't the only one that's completely confused there, right?
alright.
Because there's another. It's like, where does this? Okay. So where does this cycle stuff take place? In his mind, but then why would Harold be there?
Yeah,
Trying
and
to
then later on, that bit as well makes so. Actually, later
yeah.
on, the mid credit scene makes sense now if you put it that way. But
Yeah, yeah. Then you know what I mean? It's a bit weird. Because then it's like, Harold is he in the same insane asylum that Mark was in? What was that bit there? You know?
like, is it like a join? It's like an astro plane or something, or like some realm where avatars go or something like that.
That's what I kind of I'm not 100% sure because then it seemed like there's an actual insane asylum.
Yeah, because I think the one at the end is an actual real one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a bit weird.
yeah. But then is it? Again, as I'm saying, I. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
get
not
back.
super clear, but at the same time,
Yeah,
it's like fair enough that they said, "Oh, it's wherever you want it to be,"
but
but it kind of is int.
yeah,
Yeah,
gets a bit weird. And then so then Mark wakes up in his flat in dry old London. No, Stephen, sorry. And then
yeah,
is he still tied to the bed? I can't remember if he's still tied to the bed.
yeah. Is he still tied to bed? I can't quite recall.
Well,
Let's. Yeah,
either way, they're like, "Yep, so we can do this together." We are Moon Knight, sort of thing. Oh,
well, we are three of him, but
yeah.
we are together. Yeah,
And like, oh, cool, we're gonna start a new life together. Great, as
yeah,
friends.
Yeah.
So then it ends. Oh, that's a weird way to end. And then we get the post-credit slash mid-credit scenes where um, we see Harrow in the insane asylum, which I think is a real
Yeah.
insane asylum. Not too sure
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And he's about to get taken somewhere, and then some Spanish-speaking guy comes and says, "I'll take
Yeah.
him." And they're like, woman's like, "Okay, sure." So she's wheeling him out of the hospital,
Yeah.
and then he sees like lots of dead bodies on the floor, and Harrow's like, "Wait, I'm confused by this."
Yeah.
Sure. So then he wheels him out of the hospital, and then he puts him in the back of a white car, and Harrow gets out and like, Conchu, how you doing, homie? We're good. It's like,
Yeah.
Mark thought he'd be rid of me, but he's not. I'm gonna need to take a different approach to my madness or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
Harrow's thinking, oh, he's gonna be Conchu's avatar again or something. And he goes,
Yeah.
I'd like to introduce you to Jake Lockley. And then the window of the front of the car comes down. Like the driver window to the back of the limo comes down. And then you see a face, and it's Oscar Isaac's face, obviously. But
Yeah.
it's the Jake personality. And then he pulls out a gun, shoots Harrow, and they drive off. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm confused. Because, like, okay, it shows that
Yeah.
he's still bonded to, like, Khonshu, but
Yeah.
I'm confused. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
So yeah.
Moonlight, season 1.
Yeah. Quite enjoyable, quite fun. Questions to be asked and answered, but it seems I don't know if it's going to get another season. But hey,
I reckon it will.
it'd be neat if it did. Because this seemed like even though it was season one, it did seem like a setup for more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But, yeah, it was... I know, like, a lot of people... When they first came out, well, when they showing trailer and stuff, I was like, oh, it's going to be the best, it's going to be super dark,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Me,
Yeah.
knowing that it's on Disney Plus, like, it's not going to be super dark.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have no hopes going into it. I was like, I had no preconceptions going into the show.
Yeah.
And I came in curious, came out enjoying it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it was really good. Like I said,
Yeah.
I don't really know much of Moon Knight, only bits of Moon Knight I know is like when he's appeared in other things, and they don't really touch upon his split personality disorder and stuff like that. But yeah, it was good. I think Oscar Isaac was really good as Mark Spector and Stephen Grant.
Stephen Grant. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was
like the
looking forward to
costume.
more. To be honest, I was looking forward to more.
Yeah, but then I'm kind of glad there isn't more, because then at least more, if there is a season, which more likely it'll have to be to kind of flush out the Jake Lockley character. So yeah, I'm quite good reveal at the end to have him there, because
Yeah. I mean, well, I was waiting for. See, when you watch it, right, knowing.
yeah,
Well, first of all, when it introduce, when certain things are happening, right,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, it's one of his personalities, yeah.
yeah,
And then when the other personality gets introduced, like Mark Spector, you're like, all right, there's certain things that Mark Spector doesn't know. There must be someone else.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, no, it must be, but yeah, only because you know. But Jake Lockley speaks only Spanish. Makes no
yeah,
sense.
which is weird.
Yeah. I mean, like with a name like that, anyways. But they're probably going to be a backstory. But that does not sound like a Spanish sounding or whatever name, you know.
No, far
Um,
from.
Yeah. However, they could work. Whatever they do, they could work it.
Yeah, they could work it. But yeah, I totally enjoyed it. I wanted to
Yeah.
second
It
season.
was. It wasn't 2D. It was fun. It was not too serious. It didn't have to be dark. It wasn't too over the top action adventure. Fun stuff.
Yeah, very fun.
But definitely like I think it was like a teaser for more. In my
Yeah.
case, the way I was looking at it.
But I'm glad that he's finally being shown to the masses, because
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's shown that he's not a Batman clone because he's not.
Yeah. I think there's a maybe you should read some. I tell you what, I'll probably give you a Green Knight storyline to read, the one that
Yeah,
I was caught on. Yeah, um, yeah. But we'll speak about that when we get to that.
yeah.
Right,
So,
cool, cool, nice.
what would
Yeah,
you?
I would recommend people watch it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good mystery, but then it's good like fun stuff overall. Yeah, that's the
How
best way to
would
put it.
how would
I
you
think
rank it?
The Stephen
Also, go on.
Go on. I was going to say the Stephen Grant personality, even though it's not really Stephen Grant from the comics, is what I'm saying, but he adds more watchability to this stuff because he's like fish out of water, but actually genuinely intimidating. You're like, yeah, he don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's a novice. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, how would you rate this out of the current Marvel TV shows that have been on Disney Plus? So you've
Where would
got
you put it? Where would you put it?
um, ooh, because
I'll probably put it somewhere similar to Loki. I know that
yeah,
was bigger and more grander, right, in
yeah,
the world of epicness. But as far as character moments were concerned, it was about that level ish.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably say that as well. Yeah, being like
I mean, I like. I mean, they even Loki and Scarlet Witch seem to have a lot more budget than this.
yeah,
Um, but that's not, you know. Yeah, but I think as far as charismatic characters are concerned, as the lead,
yeah,
Stephen Grant did well. I think Mark Spector's a bit more plainer and straightforward.
yeah. He's sort of typical superhero character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Mark
That's
Spector's
why I'm saying Stephen Grant stands out because
yeah,
he's not.
because he's fish out of water. Literally, he has no idea what's
Yeah,
going on, kind of guy. Yeah, yeah, man.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
The supporting cast was good. I liked Ethan
yeah.
Hawke as the bad guy.
Yeah, even though he didn't have a cool costume, he should have
No.
had some sort of yeah. I mean, like even if it was just at the very end fight, he had the costume for.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
Um. Because I liked his character. Because like when he was a doctor, he was like kind of like really nice and like, oh, I believe this guy. This could actually all be fake. But then when he was Harrow, after he got the powers and stuff, he was
Yeah,
quite scary.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thoughts on the costume?
What the Moon Knight costume or the Mister? Oh, I actually like them both because Moon Knight costume looked cool, yeah, like a
Yeah.
mummified costume as well, the way that it came on. But the Mister Knight costume, that was like it suited the personality so well
Yeah.
that I was like, and the way he moved in it, and you could jam it like fisticuffs, and it's like this guy right here, what an entertainer.
Oh, what an idiot. Bless him. He's trying. Yeah.
Yeah, when he throws that one punch that sends a jackal flying. Oh yeah, I did it!
Yeah.
And then
You're
he
like,
gets, then he gets smacked across the into a bus, right?
yeah. You're like, dude, you don't celebrate that quick. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I like the Stephen Grant moments.
Yeah.
He seems, yeah, he was more when it was better they focused on that sort of character
Yeah.
than like I said, Mark Stokes or Jay Clockby. I see that as their personas because they could have just reshuffled the characters and it didn't really matter.
Hmm.
As long as Mark Spector's the mercenary-ish
Yeah, because
one.
that's one you can't really change, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um.
Yeah.
Anything you else want to add?
Um, no. I liked it. It was yeah. It was all I could say was it was a bit wacky, but it kind of a serious action adventure sort of thing. But I like how they used the blackouts to tell the story, not
Yeah.
because they don't have a much budget, but it's like actually this is a smart move.
Yeah. And it fits.
And they used the CG looked like for the animated like a hippopotamus or conch or stuff like that. They look clean enough but not too clean as they would be if you were mentally envisioning these characters rather than the actual physical entities.
Yeah.
It's all in their mind or whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes, I totally agree. Um, can you see this fitting into the larger Marvel universe or like
I'm
Moon Knight's
glad it's
character?
by itself, right? I'm glad
Yeah,
it's by itself because nothing has been to this level of I want to say silliness so far, but
yeah,
more like the gods are crazy, right? The gods are gods, right? And
yeah,
Stephen Grant's Stephen Grant, which um, but they'd have to if he was to join the street level team like the Defenders or something, he'd have to be more Mark Spector.
yeah. He wouldn't it? Yeah,
Yeah. Unless he becomes the comedy relief, and then he's Stephen Grant. It's like it's what you can work him in, but you have to be careful where he can go and
yeah,
how he's going to work in there. Yeah, because both of those personalities could work in either cases, but you don't if you set them up as they are as characters, you don't really want one person to take a backseat to another
yeah. Exactly.
too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. So
Okay.
I
So
guess
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But I would recommend people to watch it, and I guess you would too, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And
Yeah.
I'll even tell people, hey, check out some Moon Knight comics. I'm not too sure if he actually has a comic of his own right now, but
Yeah. Yeah. It's a mini series. I'll tell you that.
yeah,
Yeah. I thought. I mean, I don't even know much Moon Knight villains.
neither do I.
But I thought, oh, it was going to be, actual. No, I mean, you would have thought the previous Avatar Khonshu
Yeah.
slash the new Avatar Rabbit would have a costume that they make for him, but yeah, well,
Okay.
that was
A
like
quick
yeah, that's
look.
all I can say. I was like, I was expecting not a battle between like two superheroes at the end of it, but just like if one guy's in a costume from an
Another one
Avatar,
should be
you kind
right.
of
Yeah.
expect another. Yeah, yeah.
Just a
But
quick look.
then again, Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins fought Batman in like a tailor-made suit. So yeah, okay,
Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, just looking at Wikipedia,
yeah,
Moon Knight's main villains are Black Spectre,
yeah.
Bushman,
Bushman
Khonshu.
Bushman who's the guy who killed him and left him for dead, and that's
Yeah,
how he got to Khonshu at the beginning.
yeah.
Yeah, but not in this series.
No, you just hear him. Um,
Yeah,
Midnight Man.
Khonshu. Yeah. Okay. So you said Khonshu,
Yeah,
and Khonshu is a bit of a dick, more of a dick in the comics. It
yeah.
seems.
Morpheus. Okay, didn't I? Yes, it's not Morbius. It's someone called Morpheus. Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And it's not Lawrence Fishburne,
no,
and it's not the Sandman.
no. Profile. Shadow Knight. I wonder what he is. And
Yeah.
Shattered Glass Scarlet.
All right. So they don't have Midnight Man there,
Yeah,
and they don't have Midnight there,
it's weird, isn't it?
and they don't have what's the other one? There's another dude that was a Midnight. Jack Russell, aka Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, but he's a good guy technically, isn't
Yeah,
he?
no, no, but like if you're talking about the people that Moon Knight encounters,
Yeah. Oh, Moon Knight, what a weird character.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Indeed, indeed he is.
that's Moon Knight, great guy. Shadow Knight, he's just the bad version of Moon Knight.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah.
oh, it's his spoiler. That it's his brother.
Yeah.
Did not know
Well,
that.
oh well, he could come back from the dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He could have survived drowning and grew
Yeah.
gills. Who knows?
There's a good story, by the way, with so Midnight is
Yeah,
Moon Knight's psychic, right?
yeah.
Midnight is the son of the Midnight Man who Moon Knight killed, right?
Okay, yeah,
And then Midnight becomes a psychic, he gets hurt, becomes a cyborg.
yeah.
This is how I first encountered Moon Knight, by the way.
Hmm.
He was in a Spider-Man comic,
Yeah,
and his young ward sidekick, who was Midnight, was injured and he became a cyborg.
okay.
And because he's like the Jason Todd
Yeah.
version, right? Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I gotta kill you, Moon Knight, because you made me get injured and killed. I mean, hurt. So, and you basically made me turn half cyborg. Therefore, you deserve to die. Sort of
Oh,
thing."
okay.
And then way later on, uh, he was a cyborg because he couldn't die, right? But
Yeah.
he was looking for Moon Knight to find Moon Knight, so Moon Knight could finally kill him
Okay. As you
because
do.
he,
Yeah.
yeah, because you don't want to live no more.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Midnight is
yeah,
kind of
because
interesting. Okay.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but it's not. I mean, it kind of isn't, it kind of isn't, but that's how dark that run went.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll let you like. It's called, what's it called? The Bottom. That's how that's what that the part of the series is called, and then the second is, I can't remember the second one is, but that's when Midnight appears and he's like, yeah, I gotta get that guy to kill me.
Because I hate living. Okay. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, guess we're signing off then.
Yep.
Well, thank you for listening to us review Disney Plus's Marvel Studios Moon Knight. That's such a long ass title. I have been the man who blacks out and forgets dates, Carl Charles, and
Yeah. And I'm the goldfish with two fins, but we only had one. Siwa Chong.
and I hope you all enjoy this episode. If you can, could you please leave a review and rate our podcast? It helps us get on the algorithm and stuff. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. All those links are in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. If you have any questions or anything, if you want to let us know what you thought of Moon Knight and his wacky adventures, let us know through either any of those methods I've just said below. And until next time, guys, thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.
Bye.